Hi there. All right, so I wanted to give you an update on this lit review process. There's a piece, so I'm fortunate, we're all fortunate to have one of your classmates who submitted her literature review yesterday on the earlier side. I had a chance to go through it, and there's a few generalities that I think would be valuable to everyone I wanted to pass along. Really, it's a relatively simple direction or simple correction. That may or may not have come up in the videos that you saw, but I wanted to give you this tip before you send it in, so you have an opportunity. So, really, what it is to use subheadings. So, in your literature review, if you look at the discussion board number 2, it talks about your criteria. So it should have. So it should, in one to two paragraphs, state your research problem, then state your hypothesis and the sub-question. So that's what your paper is going to cover, is that. Then you're going to combine all your note cards and resources into your lit review. So what I would encourage you to do, and they may or may not appear in the final draft, is to use subheadings. So for example, if I take a look at this at Melissa Vong's paper. So her research question, which you can find discussion board 1, deals with aspects of a preschool classroom. So what aspects of a preschool classroom's physical environment impact language development and literacy? And then there's 5 sub-questions. Honestly, I don't know if you have the final draft in there or an initial draft. At any event, so in that research question, then in the sub-questions, does a print-rich environment have a positive effect on language development? Is the room arrangement and all these facets important? Does adding real items to a preschool class impact literacy development? What about adding books to the writing center and all over the classroom? And then does teacher education level or years of teaching affect the outcome? So I wanted to throw all those out for you. So when you consider all of those factors, the literature review ideally would start broad. So aspects of, preschool is an important time developmentally for children. Preschool attendance is important. Kids who go to preschool have better outcomes, whatever facts you find in that area. And then narrow it down to language and literacy development. So this is your outcome, right? This is your main outcome variable. Language and literacy development are important, especially in preschool because it contributes to success in elementary school. It's one of the most important predictors of success in school and other right? Follow along the research train. So you would have a subheading. Your first subheading would be your research questions. Then your next subheading would be why preschool is important. They don't need to be well crafted. Just give me an idea and give you an idea what should go in that paragraph. So why preschool is important? Again, preschool is important because of the outcomes. Language and literacy development. Why that's important? It's a great heading. And then throw in a few studies there, a few citations to support why it's important, and you're building a case of why that matters. And then you get into, again, still in her research problem, aspects of a preschool classroom's physical environment. So introduce the concept of, subheading, classroom physical environment. And then you'll have a study or 2 or 3 that support why the physical environment is important. Preschool physical environment would be great too, if there's research on that. Then you still have a number of other topics that you want to touch on. So you want another subheading for print-rich environment, and maybe only 1 or 2 sentences or 1 or 2 studies, but how a print-rich environment is valuable and contributes to the outcome. How the room arrangement is important and contributes to the outcome. So maybe that's another subheading. Adding real items. Again, what does the research say about adding real items? What does the research say about adding books and having books available to enrich the writing center, having writing materials? Again, what does the research say about that? And then what does the research say about the teacher's education level or years of teaching? So you may have, limiting this to 10 to 12 sources. You're not going to have 3 to 5 citations under each of these topics. I've just named 7 or 8 topics. But what you are going to have is a natural flow. I mean, from a paragraph point of view, maybe you could combine some of those things so you don't have 2-sentence paragraphs. But I think having this outline that flows from why preschool is important, why literacy is important, print-rich environment, the room arrangement, and all of your factors. Having headings that help organize your thoughts really help your literature lit review flow. And so I listed this as an example, and I think you would apply this to all 11 of you, all of your research questions. Identify the important elements of your research, and then your literature review should touch on that. So if you have, again, if one of your questions here is about teacher education level or years of teaching, make sure that you have research, that you cite research on why that's important. Otherwise, why did you come up with that question? What does the literature say, right? You want to start from what the current research what we know about that, and why you want to study that, or why you think one way or the other. So you want to cite current research on that relates to all 5 of your sub-questions and your research problem. Then make sure that all your citations are in APA format, and that you start with the research questions. Should give you a really quick tip on how to organize this, and so it flows. And then I can go through and we can talk about, I can give you more, we can fine tune, and it'll get you closer to a final product. So thanks for listening. Hope this helps the revision process and saves a bunch of side conversations. Please submit your literature reviews with these outlines by Sunday night. And if you have any concerns about that deadline when it comes to Sunday, email me and let me know how far along you are and how much more time you need, and we can work that out too. Thanks.